Hello everyone and welcome to another Math tutorial video. Now I'll be discussing Form 5 Additional Mathematics, Chapter 7 Linear Programming, Long Question Example 3. Okay, before that, please like this video to show your support and subscribe to the channel for more upcoming mathematics tutorial videos in the future. Okay, let me read the question now. Puan Anita makes and sells cushion covers and table napkins for additional income. A cushion cover needs 50 minutes of preparation time, okay, which in this case for measuring and cutting, and 75 minutes of sewing time. A table napkin needs 60 minutes of preparation time and 45 minutes of sewing time. In a week, Puan Anita cannot spend more than 16 hours for preparation work, and the sewing machine can only be used for a maximum of 15 hours. The number of cushion covers made cannot be more than the number of table napkins made. In a week, Puan Anita makes and sells X pieces of cushion covers and Y pieces of table napkins. Okay, so for the question part A, write 3 inequalities apart from X more than equal to 0 and Y more than equal to 0 which satisfy the given constraints. Okay, so from here continue to read the question part B. Using a scale of 2 cm is to 2 units on both the axes, draw the graphs of the 3 inequalities. Hence, construct and shade the feasible region R that satisfy the given constraints. Okay, so from here, let us read the question part C. The profits from the sales of a cushion cover and a table napkin are 14 ringgit and 12 ringgit respectively. Based on your graph, answer the following questions. Find the maximum profit that can be obtained by Puan Anita. For the question C, part 2, if Puan Anita makes and sells exactly 10 table napkins, find the maximum profit she can obtain. So this is the overall question. So I hope that you will attempt this question in the future. If you could manage to solve this question, a big thumbs up to you guys. But if you can't solve this question, no worries. I'm going to show you the step-by-step working and the solution. So without further delay, let us start to solve the question. Before proceed to find the 3 inequalities which satisfy the constraints, it is important for us to gather as much as information from these long statements. Okay, as you can see from this question, they did not give the constraints directly. So you need to read and identify where is the constraint from this long statement over here. Okay, so from here, we will convert this long statement into simplified version. So how are we going to simplify it? Okay, let me guide you for this question. Okay, so the first information that you can observe is, take a look at the last sentence over here. It mentioned that in a week, Puan Anita makes and sells X pieces of cushion covers and Y pieces of table napkins. So from this sentence, you know that X is actually representing cushion covers and Y is actually representing table napkins. So you write them down over here. So from here, X is actually equals to cushion covers and Y is actually representing table napkins. Okay, so these two important information we have already write down in our working here. So from here, let us continue to break down the information from the statement form into the simplified version. Okay, it mentioned here a cushion cover needs 50 minutes of preparation time. Okay, in this case, the preparation time is including the measuring and cutting, and 75 minutes of sewing time. Okay, whereas for table napkins, it needs 60 minutes of preparation time and 45 minutes of sewing time. Okay, so we're going to convert this statement into the simplified version. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to split into 2 information, one for the cushion covers, another one for table napkins. Okay, so from here, let us begin with cushion covers. Okay, and then followed by table napkins. So let me underline this too. So let me make a line over here so that we can do the comparison easily. Okay, so for the cushion covers, it need 50 minutes of preparation time and 75 minutes of sewing time. So let me write the information over here. So 50 minutes, okay, for preparation. So let me just write here prep, okay, and then 75 minutes for sewing. Okay, whereas for table napkins, you need 60 minutes of preparation time and 45 minutes of sewing time. So let me just write here 60 minutes for preparation and then 45 minutes for sewing. Okay, so let me erase this excess line. Okay. So now it's better for us to see the information rather than looking at the long statement over here. Okay, so once we identify the information, okay, for the next step what we need to do is we need to identify the information which lead us to the constraint equation. Okay, so let us start. Okay, as you can see here, this sentence, it mentioned that in a week, Puan Anita cannot spend more than 16 hours for preparation work and the sewing machine can only be used for a maximum of 15 hours. Okay, within this one single sentence, you can actually form two constraints. Okay, so let me show you how is it. So from here until here, okay, you have already formed the first constraint. Okay, and then from here until here, so this will be your second constraint. Okay, and then the number of cushion covers made cannot be more than the number of table napkins made. So from here until here, so this will be your third constraint. So this statement, which consists of the three constraints, you need to convert them into the equation form. Okay, so let's take a look one by one. So let us begin with the constraint 1 over here. So it mentioned that in a week, Puan Anita cannot spend more than 16 hours for preparation work. Okay, it mentioned here preparation work. So preparation work, as you can see here, it has 50 minutes for cushion covers and 60 minutes for table napkins. Okay, so as you know, for cushion covers is actually representing X variable and for table napkins is actually representing Y variables. Okay, so from here you need to combine these two information together and you need to be careful here, guys. The units here is mentioned in minutes, but then the question is mentioning in hours. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to convert these hours into minutes. Okay, so in order for us to standardize the units. Okay, so from here let us begin our working for the first constraint. Okay, it mentioned here for preparation time 50 minutes, okay, and then you times with the X number of cushion covers, okay, and then plus with 60 minutes times with Y table napkins. Okay, it should be less than equals to, remember guys, you need to convert this into minutes. So since you need to convert this into minutes, so you need to times with 60. So 16 times with 60. So you do this calculation. So from here you get 50x plus 60y should be less than equals to 960. Okay, so you divide the whole equation by 10. So from here, you get your first constraint is 5x plus with 6y less than equals to 96. Okay, so this constraint is for the preparation. Okay, let me write here preparation. Okay, so and I will underline this first constraint as well. Okay, so once we identify the first constraint, let us move to the second constraint. Okay, so for the second constraint, it mentioned here the sewing machine can only be used for a maximum of 15 hours. Okay, a maximum of 15 hours means so at most you can only spend 15 hours or less. Okay, so from here, take a look at the sewing here. Okay, it mentioned here for cushion covers you need to spend 75 minutes, whereas for table napkins you need to spend 45 minutes. Okay, so how are you going to form the equation? So let me guide you one by one. So from here, 75 minutes times with x cushion covers, okay, and then plus with 45 minutes times with y number of table napkins. Okay, you should be less than equals to 15. Remember guys, you need to times with 60. Okay, because you need to convert from hours to minutes. Okay, so you perform this calculation. So from here you get 75x plus 45y should be less than equals to 900. Okay, so it is possible for us to simplify this equation. So what you do, you divide the whole equation by 15. Okay, so from here you get 5x plus with 3y. Okay, it will be less than equals to 60. Okay, so this is your sewing time. Okay, let me write here sewing. Okay, and I'll underline the second constraint. Okay, so let us move on to the constraint 3. Okay, for the constraint 3, it mentioned here the number of cushion covers made cannot be more than number of table napkins made. Okay, so from here, let us begin for constraint 3. Okay, in this case, the number of cushion covers is representing x. Okay, cannot be more than. Okay, if cannot be more than means it should be less than equals to the number of table napkins made. So in this case will be x less than equals to y. Okay, but then in our upcoming questions, since we are going to plot the graph, so what you do, you switch this equation. So from here it will be y more than equals to x. Okay, so this will be your constraint 3. So let me underline this. Okay, so from here, since we have already identified the 3 constraints, let us proceed our discussion for the question part B. For the question part B, using a scale of 2 cm is to 2 units on both the axes, we are required to draw the graph of the 3 inequalities that we find in the question part A. Okay, and once we do that, we need to construct and shade the feasible region R that satisfy the given constraints. Okay, by the way, I've already completed the graph and shade the region for you. So let me show you the completed linear programming graph now. So please wait for a moment. Okay, let me zoom out this first. Okay, so this is your linear programming graph should looks like. Okay, so let me zoom in now so that you can see it better. Okay, so as you can see here, so this is the title of our linear programming graph. As you can see here, this is the linear programming of cushion covers and table napkins. Okay, and then you have the axis of the scale 2 centimeter is to 2 units on the both axes. Okay, and x and y axis over here. So you need to make sure that your scale is actually correct. So from here, let us begin with our first constraint. Okay, our first constraint, it mentioned here 5x plus 6y less than equals to 96. But then if you want to plot your graph, okay, you need to remove the inequality and you must put the equal sign first. Okay, so from here 5x plus 6y equals to 96. So how I plot this graph is very simple. I use the y-intercept. Okay, so from here my y-intercept is actually 16. Okay, that will be my first point. Okay, since the x-intercept is exceeding this graph paper, so what I do, I choose one specific point over here. Okay, so from here when your x is equals to 18, so from here you should get your y equals to 1. So this is your 2 point. So you use this 2 point and then you form a straight line of this graph where 5x plus 6y equals to 96. So this will be your graph of the first constraint. Okay, so for the second constraint, so moving on, so as you can see here, it mentioned here 5x plus 3y equals to 60. So you remove the constraint and you put the equal sign. Okay, since you want to plot the straight line first. Okay, so from here, for this graph, I use the intercept. Okay, for the x-intercept, it is 12. Okay, whereas for the y-intercept is actually 20. So you use the 2 point and you plot the straight line for the graph 5x plus 3y equals to 60. Okay, so this is your graph of the second constraint. Okay, moving on to the third one. Okay, y is equals to x. Okay, as I know, this will be the easiest graph for you to plot. Okay, so you can just pick any 2 points. Okay, so these 2 points is sufficient for us. Coordinate 2, 2 and 4, 4. Okay, you choose this 2 point and then you form the straight line of the graph y equals to x. So this is your graph for the third constraint. Okay, so in this case you can wondering, so why there is suddenly a dotted line over here? It has the straight line equation 14x plus 12y equals to 168 and you have the maximum point of coordinate 6, 10. Okay, so for that, please hold on for a moment. I will discuss in the question part C. Okay, this one is involving the question part C question. Okay, for now, let us discuss for the question part B. Okay, for the question part B, you are required to plot the graph and then you shade the satisfying region. Okay, so I have already discussed the graph. Okay, let us proceed to the which region you need to shade. Okay, so let me open another graph paper. Okay, so this is the graph paper that I'm going to show you how we're going to perform the shading of the region. Okay, so from here, okay, by the way, I actually forget to put the R over here. By that, you should put the R over here. Okay, so from here, the first constraint it mentioned here 5x plus 6y should be less than equals to 96. Okay, since it mentioned less than equals to 96, okay, so you mark over here. Okay, and you mark here. Okay, and you mark here as well. Okay, since it mentioned 5x plus 6y less than equals to 96. Okay, so from here let us proceed to the second constraint where it mentioned 5x plus 3y less than equals to 60. Okay, so you take a look at this straight line. So since it should be less than equals to 60, so you need to mark this region. Okay, mark this region. Okay, and then wait a second. Okay, you need to mark this region as well. Okay, so from here, let us proceed to the third constraint where it mentioned here y should be more than equals to x. So for this, let me choose a red pen. Okay, since it mentioned that the constraint where y should be more than equals to x, so from here you need to mark this region, this region, this region, this region. Okay, let me double check again. Okay, I think that is all. Okay, so from here, when you take a look, this is the region where it fulfills all the three inequalities. Okay, so that is the reason why I shade this region over here. Okay, and whenever you solve this question, don't forget to put the r over here. Okay, so I'm just going to left the letter r over here, and I'm going to erase the shading. Okay, so once you identify which region you need to shade, so you shade the region and you write here the letter r. Okay, so that is all for the question part B. So from here, let us proceed our discussion for the question part C. So let me close this and back to our main discussion. Okay, so let me read the question part C. Okay, within this question part C, we're going to solve the part 1 first. So it mentioned here the profits from the sales of a cushion cover and a table napkin are 14 ringgit and 12 ringgit respectively. So within this, we can actually form the profit equation. Okay, so the profit equation will be P equals to 14x. So in this case, the profit from a cushion cover is 14 ringgit. So 14 ringgit you times with the X cushion cover, okay, and then you plus with 12 ringgit times with the Y table napkins. Okay, so this is your profit equation. So let me box this. So from here up until now, I hope you guys understand. So for the next step, what we need to do is we need to form the imaginary straight line equation. Okay, for that you can choose any p value or you can choose the LCM method. Okay, in order to choose the LCM method, what you do, 14 you times with 12. So in this case, you get your p is equals to 168. Okay, so I use the LCM method, guys. So from here, you let your p is equals to 168. Okay, so you substitute this into the profit equation. So from here, it will be 14x, okay, plus with 12y, it will be equals to 168. Okay, so in order to plot the dotted line into the graph paper, so you need to choose any 2 points. So from here, when x equals to 0, oh, so sorry guys, it's lagging. When x equals to 0, you get your y is equals to 14. Okay, so continue to find the x-intercept. So when y equals to 0, so from here you get your x equals to 12. Okay, so you get this 2 point, so you can plot the graph now. Okay, so let me open the graph paper now. Okay, so from here, this is the dotted line. Okay, and then you plot the you plot the graph based on the 2 points. So sorry guys, okay, you plot the graph based on the 2 points. So this is your y-intercept and this is your x-intercept, and this is the equation where 14x plus with 12y equals to 168. Okay, so let me zoom in if you can't see it clearly. Okay, so this is how your graph actually looks like. So let me close this and open another graph paper. Okay, so from here up until now, I hope you guys understand. So from here, what you need to do is, it is recommended for you to use a long ruler, and you need to move this straight line in a perpendicular direction, okay, within this shaded region. So you need to move slowly your ruler, okay, until it touches the furthest point. Okay, so within this direction of the straight line, so as you can see here that it touches the coordinate 6, 10. Okay, so this 6, 10 is actually your maximum point. Okay, so from here, so let me close this and back to our main discussion. So from the graph, okay, we find out that our maximum point is equals to 6, 10. Okay, so once we find the maximum point, what we can do is we use these coordinates and substitute into the profit equation, and we can find our maximum profit. So from here, thus maximum profit is equals to, so sorry guys, it's lagging. Okay, it's equals to 14 times with 6 plus with 12 times with 10. Okay, you calculate this, you should get your maximum profit is equals to 204 ringgit. Okay, so let me underline the solution for the question C, part 1. Okay, so we have already done with the question C, part 1. So from here, let us proceed our discussion for the question C, part 2, where they ask us, if Puan Anita makes and sell exactly 10 table napkins, find the maximum profit that she can obtain. Okay, so from here, since it mentioned here 10 table napkins, so it's actually representing y equals to 10. So from the graph paper, you need to look for the corresponding x value. So from here, when y equals to 10, okay, so let me open the graph paper again. Okay, so when y equals to 10, so you need to look for the maximum, the corresponding x value. So in this case, the corresponding x value is 6. Okay, so this is your corresponding x value. Okay, so from here you get your x value is equals to 6. Okay, so from here, therefore your maximum profit is equals to 14 times with 6 plus with 12 times with, oh my god, it's lagging. Please wait guys, basically the question C part 1 and question C part 2, the working is the same guys, okay, by the way. So let me just copy paste this. Okay, so you calculate this, you should get your maximum profit is equals to 204 ringgit. Okay, by the way, I'm only doing this because the question, the working for the question C part 1 and question C part 2 is exactly the same. Okay, they mentioned that if Puan Anita makes and sell exactly 10 table napkins, okay, 10 table napkins means it's actually representing y equals to 10. So what you need to do, you need to open the graph paper and you look at the value of y equals to 10, and you need to find the maximum value for the x when y equals to 10. So in this case, the possible maximum value is 6. So that's why you see the answer for the question C part 1 and question C part 2 is the same. Okay, I hope you guys are clear about this. So that is all for the step-by-step working and solution for this question. I hope you understand the full working that I've shown to you. If you like this video, please give your thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for more upcoming mathematics tutorial videos in the future, and not to forget to share this video. Thank you everyone for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.